This is where it picked up from last lesson. Let's have a review. So the aim of this video is I'm going to create a more sophisticated GUI than the one we actually have at the moment. This is part 3 of our fan GUI. So what if I see the if statement here, if the internal temperature is under 25, then that will go, the background colour will be red, and the text will say small fan off. If it's over 25, small fan will be on and the background colour will be green. So let's just test that now, just a bit of review. Background colour is red and it says small fan off. If I go 26, which is over 25, that's what we have. Now we do remember that I want the conditions to be as the command line module said, that it should be over 25 and under 35. So that's the first thing we'll need to fix up on our GUI to make it work properly. So, alright, so that's the first thing. So if it's over, if it's not in that range this time, if it's over or if it's under, this time it won't work. So we'll just test that. Okay, my GUI over here now. So now we'll test it by putting something right in the middle. Lower first off, good. Right in the middle, and just a bit over, so we'll go 36. That's behaving correctly. Alright, so we also remember we had another state. I'll have a look here, and it said that if the internal temperature was greater than 35, what should happen, or 35 and greater, but we should have this other fan and it should turn on, so a large fan should turn on. How about we just include that line of code right now, and I'll just cut and paste it now. Now I'll have to indent a lot of this code there, and that will have to all be indented. Now we'll also have to change these variables, because this time what we've done is we've created this variable called fan status, and fan status indicates whether it's on or off. So this time fan status, if it's over 35, I'll just cut and paste that text. I'll indent it. Now that should say small fan off. Okay. Now we've also got this other variable here, large fan. So we may as well create another variable. I'm just going to call this. We've got large fan status, and we'll equal this large fan. On. Okay. We should also have this status color. That should also turn back to and that will actually be red because it's actually not in the condition, so it's, in other words, it's off. Alright, just have a bit of space. Remember, when you do code, don't be afraid to use white space to show you what's going on. If you create up statements too much, it's just hard to read and it's hard to assess. Alright, so here we go. So now the three test conditions, what happens when it's under, off, if it's in the middle, on, if it's over, so in other words it's 35, off. So now that's working beautifully. Now remember, what we also had is I want another output that will tell me what's happening with the large fan. It's fairly easy to do at this point. what we have to do is we have to create another output. If I copy this, for this output, I'm just going to call it LF for large fan. So LF output, so large fan output. It's going to be row 4, so we're actually going to go down a row. Row 4, there it is there. Alright, so this is large fan output. We've got a configure statement here, and just to test this out, to show that I've actually created this one, I'm just going to label that large fan. And now let's have a look what happens when I save and run that. Here we go. Well, it's working. Now what I'll do is I'll put a number in here. So we've got large fan. And that's working. Now what I want is this to colour as well. That with the next test. So we have to do a similar thing here. So how we had configure here, right there. Oops. And remember this one, so it's LF. Okay. We just need to now create some text for, and I'll see about fan status. So again, we'll go large fan status. So now what the text will be here, it'll be whatever the large fan status is. So here, now I'll make that equal, oops, I'll call it large fan on. And I'll save. This one, no, that's large fan off, so it's, if it's in that range. Okay, so when it's between 25 and 35 degrees, we want the small fan off, the large fan on. And when it's over 35, that large fan should come on, and that's what should work. I haven't got the status color here, so we'll just leave that. It'll just go whatever that other color is. So we'll work that out. Actually, we shouldn't be lazy. We'll do it right now. Okay, so what I'll do is I have to create another. We'll use this, but we'll call it LF status color. So for large fan. So we'll go LF status color. So now that will be red. And make sure we put that variable in there. So we just have to put an LF in front of that one. So that just indicates LF stands for large fan. So then that color should be there. We can just copy that line of code there. And this one here, so LF, and that should be green. Okay, and then that one there. Oops, that was a loss, wasn't it? And that one should be red. And once we finish this one, I'll finish this section of the video tutorial. Alright, so let's just double check. So when the input temperature is between these values, the text should say large fan off. It should be a red background. When it's over here, let's just check. The large fan should say large fan on. Large fan background color should be green. And when we've got it's over, so therefore when it's else, that means it's basically going to be under 25 degrees. Then we have a situation where we have the now I haven't, so the we haven't got a large, with the background colour be red, but I haven't told, that was a good check, I haven't actually said that I need to type this text in. I haven't said what the text should be, so it should be large fan status equals large fan on, and I'll save that. Let's test. Okay, well, we're not coming up with any syntax errors yet. All right, so 23. Oh, there we go. I think I've made a mistake. So large fan status, reference before assignment. Yeah, you can see that mistake there. That's it, I made a spelling mistake. So alright, now we'll try again. 23. Both are red, so both background. 26. Okay, small fan is on, large fan is off. Now we'll go 37, and we've got that off and this off. So now we've made a mistake. So it's in here now. What have I made a mistake? Again, it's the same spelling mistake. So check that. Alright, so when we do a testing table, we'd actually indicate we made a mistake, and then we'd indicate that we fixed it up. Okay, so now I have to save and run that. Always a good idea not to write too many lines of code before you test it. Alright, now 37, what happens? Beautiful, it's working fine now. So we'll just double check. So 23 is under 25, both fans should be off, correct. Okay, 26, what should happen is that should be on, green background, that should be off, red background. Good, that's correct. And 37 there. Now I think I've seen something else. That was a mistake. That should say large fan off, and it also should be a red background. So you'll see what happens now at 23. Red background correct, but it says large fan on. It should say off. So I'll get that. And that's basically, now that's the whole algorithm. The rest of it is just making it look a bit more professional. But the algorithm, the code is working correctly, which is fantastic. So now the next video I'll show you how to make it look pretty, how to make it